Happy Thursday, everybody. It's Josh here with On the Wrong Lead, and we got a fun little show for you today. I do have to apologize for lying to everybody and saying that we were going to cover Canterbury tonight. Apparently, after their big turf festival yesterday, they decided that tonight they would run mostly quarters. And I know our special guest loves him some quarters, but I believe he only likes to bet him at Los Al. So, Mr. Andrew Capone. So I had to put myself as not Andrew since Ed just fucking for like 2 weeks kept on just like he made the joke, he messed up, then made the joke, then just kept on calling me Andrew on accident because he had already made the joke. So I am not Andrew, but we have the real Andrew here. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Excited for this weekend. Couple nice races, and then getting ready for Saratoga, which is just around the corner.
Yeah, I mean, you really are getting ready for Saratoga. I see you showed me the boxes and everything, so you're ready to kind of go up there for a couple weeks and relax. So we're looking forward to seeing you up there. I know I'll bring in your partner in crime on the award-winning. And by award-winning, I mean it won the On the Wrong Lead award for best Derby prep show held on a Friday. Caleb Knight here. Yeah, we'll be up there. I know there's gonna be a lot of people up there, especially when we were up there, Caleb. I just had posted something about going up to Saratoga and had 5 replies. Like, oh, we're gonna see you there. So
all for Alabama weekend.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm excited. Alabama weekend, you guys are going to be on my show. A little role reversal here.
That's
I'll
right.
be asking you guys some questions. So a little bit of different change, but it'll be excited to have you guys up there.
Now, people may not know this, but Andrew, this is actually your second time on our show.
It is Vegas.
Yes. And that was funny because I think after the show, Caleb's like, why was I even here? I just sat here. You guys were just drinking and just doing your own thing. Like, why didn't you guys even have me on here? But we had to get the Q factor up, Caleb. You got to be on as many shows as possible. So.
Oh man. Well, no Mark and Brian, so that kind of brings it up by itself.
So so let's talk a little bit about Canterbury before we get into everything. So yesterday was their big stakes. Kind of their stakes night, with the what do they call it? The turf festival, the
Northern
Lights,
or something.
Northern Lights Turf Festival. And Caleb, I kind of wanted to bring it up because I feel like you had a really good description, I guess, of Canterbury Park. You had kind of a real interesting take on Canterbury. So I don't know if you wanted to share that.
I have a lot of interesting takes, Josh. Not even more than that.
Well, I think you had mentioned that that you love what Canterbury Park is doing for the horse player, but you have some other problems.
Yeah, so I love what Canterbury does for the better. It is probably the most horse player friendly track in the country, maybe up there with Kentucky Downs. They do so much right at Canterbury, and you really can't applaud them enough for that. From the 10% takeout on their pick 5s, 10% takeout on the early pick 4. They offered an all turf pick 5. They had big field sizes and competitive racing. Really did everything right. So kudos to them. They're really doing right by the bettors, even running on weekday evenings and trying not to run on top of the big tracks like Belmont and on the West Coast. So really kudos to them for that. Unfortunately, for the life of me, I just don't get Canterbury. It's a struggle for me. I don't know why. I feel like it has some of the sharpest horse players in the country, it seems, because these horses that I'll kind of like at 9-2, and they'll get bet down to 9-5, and then win like a sure thing, and it happens over and over. So with the exception of the last 2 races and the cheap races where there was some chaos yesterday, it was a pretty chalky day, so a tough day for me to make some money. But I know, Josh, you ended up doing pretty well.
Yeah, I hit that pick 5, but what was really funny is our friend Murphy, he's like, "Oh, did you play on Express Bet?" And I was like, "No." Apparently, he got an extra like $156 for hitting that pick 5 on Express Bet as part of like the $2,000 hit and split. I was like, man, I would have thought it would have paid a lot less with it being so chalky. But Andrew, what do you think about Canterbury? I know you play it a bit.
I love the track. I'm like Caleb. I love what they do for bettors. I hate the track. The racing is just not great. It builds a bad bias. And then there's just illogical things. I mean, there's a certain jockey last night that in the first 2 races just went full send, like unbelievable full send, and he had plenty of horse. He just didn't need to go 21-4 in the opening quarter. So it's a little frustrating when you get B+ type jockeys. Or should I say B jockeys racing against some of the best. You have Javi that flew in, and they'll just like eat their lunch. So again, I think it's growing. I think what they did, this is the second year in a row they've grown the pot. They're going to continue and move that way, and they're going to make it attractive for people to ship in for these bigger stakes. But so far, so good. I'm like Caleb. I think that the money is real sharp. They give a really high rebate for rebate players. So you definitely see a number of computer players standing there getting that 9.5% on exactas. So I think that's what really kills those last minute odds.
I think you even pointed out, Caleb, that I made a comment about JJ. I was like, man, JJ is not exactly having the best year, but and I think I said it in a little bit of a harsher way than that. But I was like, he comes up here and he just makes everybody look dumb.
Yeah.
So
I mean, when the out of town guys come in, it's a different ball game, and I mean they're getting the best mounts as well. But they sure it does highlight some big differences to be sure.
So we got about 9 minutes to post here, race 5 at Indiana Downs, or Indiana Grand.
Horseshoe, Indiana.
Horseshoe, Indianapolis. Sorry, I was 3 names behind. But we got a nice full field here. We got 12 horses here, and we got some turf racing, which is rare in Indiana. But looks like your favorite right now is this 4 horse. As I scroll up. Okay, that can't be the right race. Nope, it's definitely not the right race. As I
on race 5.
Up, yeah, I know. I was like, what the heck? I was like, that 4 is 30-1 in the book. Like, I know these morning lines suck, but lolloping here, 4-1 or 5-1 in the book is currently 2-1. It's Brad Cox, Marcelino Pedrosa here. Last ran in the stakes race here at Indiana Grand, 5th by a length. So looks to be taking most of the money here. The 10 horse at 3-1. Surprisingly for Shug and Declan Cannon here. Shug, it's rare to see a Shug horse in Indianapolis, isn't it?
He doesn't ship too many. It is pretty rare.
I think it's because Churchill's off the turf.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, I don't know if I told you guys, but I was on site on Saturday, and that grass does not look good.
It doesn't even look like grass. Dude.
It doesn't look alive. Like it looks. I mean, it looks worse than the Gulfstream turf does. Like in the middle of the summer after running on it 24/7. Like, yeah, I don't know if it just like didn't take. I don't know if like they just ran on it too much. Like it doesn't look good. Like it's funny because you look at the turf course and you just see it's just like yellow, and then you get to like the side, like it kind of like rounds off and it looks like the part of the grass that's been there like they didn't touch, green, lush, full, like it just looks beautiful, and then it's just got like this like top that's just yellow, and I'm just like it's a disaster over there for sure. So I know I sprung this on you guys late for this horseshoe because I didn't realize Canterbury was all quarters. Anything that pops out to you guys in this race?
So for this 5th race, I actually kind of like 2 horses in here. One of them I like quite a bit, actually. The number 3, Infinite Potential. I thought this horse is getting some big class relief here. I mean, coming out of a $110,000 allowance race at Keeneland and moving into a $36,000 allowance race at Indiana Grand is a pretty significant class drop here. You're getting Vinny aboard, who has been riding pretty well here. He didn't do so well at Canterbury last night, but he's been doing well at Horseshoe, Indianapolis anyway. The last race, I think, at Keeneland came back fairly strong. I mean, Seasons came back to win, as well as the fifth place finisher as well came back to win. And this horse kind of stands out on figures. I mean, he looks like he might just be the fastest, or she looks like she might be the fastest horse in the field. Should be forwardly placed, doesn't need the lead. And I think I'm really surprised we're seeing 6-1. I don't play this track enough to know if there's always like a ton of late money that moves in, but I genuinely thought this horse would be like 5-2, 3-1. So I'm really surprised we're seeing 6-1 here on Infinite Potential.
Doesn't this break one of your like golden rules though?
Out of the Chad Brown barn?
Yeah.
That's more of a Mark thing than me. Usually I won't bet first time out of a Chad Brown barn, but if the horse kind of shows that it still retains ability and then goes to a track like Indiana or Horseshoe Indianapolis, then I'm willing to bite.
On that same Caleb, I'm all over the 3 with you as well. I think that the 2 horses came out of that last race to win. Being a bias player, looking at the post 1 through 3 here for the entire season, going 1 mile on the turf, are winning at 60%. So 1 through 3 winning at 60%. Also, horses coming off it greater than 3 lengths of the lead at first call are winning at about 45%. So I think it's something where you want to be inside tracking, saving as much ground as possible. Again, I'm not a huge Indy player, so I don't necessarily know how this normally plays. I'm just pulling from the stats right now, but it definitely seems like you want to be inside coming from it. And there's a good opportunity here for the 3. Plus, it gets Vinny up, and he needs to redeem himself after that ride in the first leg of the all-turf pick last night, where he decided to have a great opening on the top of the turn, and then just let it close in his face.
Was the best part on the 13 horse last night?
Yeah, he had the great. I mean, but that's you just talked about. When these big time jockeys come from other places, and they come to a smaller track. Twice last night, JJ he just went. He just was like, "I'm going to make this is my hole." He didn't wait. He didn't look around. He just went. And I think that sort of aggressive ride you get with those top riders, you don't necessarily see with those Canterbury Park jockeys.
That 13 was also carrying the weight of like 2 discords on it. So when I first capped it, I was like, I think it was like 10-1 in the book. I'm like, maybe you'll get like 6-1. Like this horse is going to take a little bit of money, and then the horse ended up going off as the favorite. I think it was like 5-2.
Yeah, down to 2-1 now, getting smashed.
Yeah, it's got that stream weight. Any concern that this might melt? This has got a lot of speed in here.
Maybe a little bit. It's one of those races that has like a lot of like murky speed. Like you would probably assume that the 6 horse stretching out from sprints is probably the quickest horse in the field. And then you have like 3 or 4 others. I mean, the 1 horse looks like she probably has to go. So, I mean, I think the pace will be honest at the very least. But then it gets a little bit murkier when you look at a horse like the 5, Mission Bell, who may or may not send. I mean, you have a couple of horses a little further outside, like the 8, who does have some speed. I don't think it's going to totally melt and just be nuclear, but I think we'll see a contested pace with probably the 1 and the 6, and then we see a horse like the 3 and the 5 kind of lay up second, 3rd and 4th.
I'll tell you, I might take a shot with this 2 horse. This Brad Cox Ty Kennedy horse here looks to be an S-type. Was going to be coming off the pace, and is definitely getting a bit of class relief here, coming from Fairgrounds to Keeneland, and now obviously to the jewel of the Midwest, Horseshoe Indianapolis here. So kind of a similar angle, I think, that you kind of got with this 3, with going from Keeneland to here. But the 3's probably coming in a slightly better form, better speed figures. But I think the 2 might have a little bit of a pace setup here. So I'm going to roll with this 2 here. 9-1 currently.
It's a good price. Yeah, I'm going with the 3 and the 5. I'm going to have a win bet on the 3, and I'm going to play a 3-5 exact. The 5's the other horse I thought interested me in here. Amos is winning at 40% on the meet so far. I mean, everything he sends out has been pretty live. And the horse just looks good. I mean, dropped into the basement last time and just absolutely trounced the field. So I like the move back into allowance company. Should stock a contested pace and does have some late kicks. So I think the 5 here could be kind of live at a pretty nice price.
Yeah, Nick Feldman agreeing. He likes the Mission Bell over the Shug Horse Exacta here. So he likes that 5. And I think what's the Shug Horse, the 10 or the 3?
He's the 10, surprisingly.
Yeah, so he likes the little 5'10 Exacta there.
Don't think that horse would be a shock, but 7-2 is probably a little too short for me for a horse that's coming off a big layoff and hasn't tried turf and has some question marks.
I'm going to go double here. I'm going to play 3 to the 4-11 and a little double here. I think it's playing pretty well. I think pool's a little small, only $4,000 in it, but I like this. I like this 3. I like the 4 and 11 in the next, and they're paying respectively 3 to the 4, paying 63. And what did I just do? 3 to the 11 is now paying $9. You can't bet $25 doubles.
We were talking about that last night because what race was it, Caleb? Was it the last race? And we were kind of both on the same horses, and we're like, and this was at Canterbury, and it was like paying like $115 for 2 or something like that. And so I think I bet a $20 double, and then instantly it was paying like $95. And then by the time I think the gates open, it was paying like
65, yeah.
65. It's like, what the heck?
I just went from 25 to 10, and it went from $9 to 16. So literally moving the needle $7 with $15 bet.
Oh, I realized I was muted. Yeah, I think I'm gonna. I can see the 11 in the next race. The 11 looks to be overwhelming the best. Let's see what this 211's paying 41. I'll put a little money on this 211 here.
Your $5 is going to set it down to 15.
All right. I hear Caleb clicking around. So he's either playing league or he's making.
I'm trying to handicap the rest of this horseshoe card, but I don't think I'm gonna have time to get a pick 4 in.
I just put one in.
Oh, the old Josh capping there.
The 3. Well, that's what I was doing when you were talking. 3 to 4-11 to the 5 to the 7.
Charles here saying he likes Voodoo Justice wire to wire.
Yeah, horse should get the lead. I mean, that's a good price too.
You got. It's really tough, I think, when you talk about turf. The speed is not holding at all. We're talking 14% of horses wiring.
14% doesn't sound that bad.
14%?
That's pretty low. I mean, you figure an average turf wire to wire is probably 28 maybe.
20, wow. Please tell me I've said that to you before. You didn't guess that.
No, I'm just guessing.
On point. It's 28%.
So, Caleb, I saw when you first joined, you had a nice big old glass of something. What are you drinking over there?
Yeah, so I've got. I didn't bring the bottle in, but I got a Nolu toasted barrel. So it's
still drinking that.
Still working on that. Yeah, it's barrel proof. It's I think it's only available in Louisiana. I think for this particular bottle anyway. And it's really good. I was kind of skeptical because I wasn't too familiar with Nolu, but it's a really good pour.
I have this Old Forester single barrel rye strength or rye single barrel strength, which apparently is a Louisville only release that I would just happen to be at the distillery when they were doing it. So they've done a couple batches of it. It was funny because I looked up reviews on it and they were really good. Obviously after I bought it because I didn't even think twice about buying it. Because I mean, what kind of whiskey fan would I be if I didn't spend $105 on a random bottle I found at a distillery? But what was funny is everyone was like, "Oh, this is so great for a $70 bottle." So in the year, I think it's 9 months that they've been bottling this, they've already gone from like $70 to $105. And this is straight from the distillery. So like this wasn't like marked up like anything. It's the only place you can get it. And then I got these little tasting glasses. We spent probably way too much money at the distilleries when we were in Louisville over the weekend.
How is it?
I just poured it.
Oh, you didn't even try it. You just bought it cold.
I bought it cold. Yeah, they were
Like
like
a
special
true
release,
bourbon
dude.
degen.
Dude, you know. I mean, they said the words special release.
Take my
So
money.
I'm like, so my question is just like, all right, which one? Now what's funny is there was limit one per person, so I grabbed one. So my wife went to grab one, and then she saw the price tag, and she put that thing right back. So Charles saying that the turf allowance races, they play like a stakes race, should be okay pick here. Really nice price play, win, lose, or draw. So, yeah. I mean, I'm not going to... I would never fault anyone for taking... was he 16-1? No. 14-1? Wait, which horse is he talking about? I thought he was on the 5.
Talk about grass that's not growing. This Indy grass looks horrible.
That's crazy because they get all that snow or all that rain all the time.
They were just showing over top. It was very patchy.
Oh, he's getting 5-1 on Voodoo Justice. That's who he likes, the 6. That's pretty good, Caleb.
Pretty good. Even the neck pour.
Even the neck pour. It actually didn't burn that much, which was kind of surprising, seeing as it's 128 proof.
Ooh, that's hot.
Are you guys going to be shipping up bottles to me for Saratoga? Am I going to get a package for my house that's so you guys, because you can't fly with them, ship up something? Because I don't drink hard alcohol. I don't drink hard alcohol, so it's not going to be me that'll drink it.
Yeah.
Shit, you weren't
last
kidding.
time
That
it was
turf
what
looks,
PDT.
rough.
PDT last time shipped up. He
Tomorrow.
shipped up a bottle of what was it, Elmer T.
Elmer
Lee?
T. Lee, and then Gary brought a bottle of
Van Winkleton.
yeah.
Oh my god, that turf looks so bad.
Dude, the middle turf just looks like sand.
Yeah, well, imagine if that's what the entire turf course looked like, and that's what Churchill looked like. I'm not even kidding you, dude. It was awful. Man, they're taking their sweet time loading. Are they going to scratch somebody here?
They can't get the 12 in the gate.
Someone in the chat said Indiana Grand has like Gulfstream-esque post-time drags. So
yeah, I'm wondering if. I mean, good thing IRAD's not here, because they might scratch a horse behind the gate and then he'd be screwed again.
Did we not want to be watching? Yeah. I just gave all that credit to Canterbury for doing things right by the horse player. So on that same note, come on, Indiana Grand, get your head out of your ass. Nobody wants to sit here for 10 extra minutes. Like, it's not that hard to be on time.
Yeah.
We got to start going Australian style. They give them 45 seconds on a stopwatch, and then they scratch them.
Yeah, seriously.
And it's crazy because they just load in the gate without like a pony, without anything. Like, it's just like the horse is just like more disciplined. I don't know.
I mean, if you're having gate loading issues, that's one thing. It just irritates me when they just don't have any respect for the time and they just, post. They don't get to the post breed until 5 minutes to post.
Charles says he win bet him. He was 8-1. Now he's 5-1. So,
I still think 4-1 is a good price on this 3 horse. I mean, I half expect him to see him tick down to like 2-1, but I guess we'll see. It might just be like the Brad Cox money and like Tom Amos money is like too much in here for someone, Correa's money is not quite as doesn't follow quite as much.
Depends on the track.
Oh my! And the 12 actually got out of the gate okay after taking like 9 million years to get in there.
I let the 6 go.
Yeah, it looks like the 6 got out there.
Your 12 isn't dead last.
Is he looking behind him? Did the 12 just do the old like look back peek? Like what? Does he think he's lapping these guys? Like
the unloaded peak.
They call that the Paco Wickets.
Well, I don't know. The jock on the 5's doing I have the best horse ride, so
He is. I don't watch enough Indiana to know if this is fast, but doesn't seem like it's blazing.
23 and 4 is pretty fast there.
Okay.
Average fractions of the first quarter of dirt is 24 and 3, half miles 48 and 2.
I'm surprised that this 4 is the favorite. I didn't really think that horse looked very good.
This speed's about to collapse.
I don't know if my 2 is going to pass a horse with this thing falling
This 10
apart.
might have some run, but this 6 looks like he's still going too. 3 tripped out so hard if he's good enough. 7 to 1.
Vinny.
Wow.
Vinny, you're getting bodied. Vinny got bodied by that 10. Take that 10 down.
Well,
Was that the show horse at 7 to 1?
yeah, he floated way up. He was like 3 to 1 going in. Wow,
Yeah,
when I
he
thought
was
they
the
were
favorite when we were looking originally, but man, betting Shug in Indiana, like, maybe we overthought that one a little bit.
Yeah, he doesn't shit much, but they're usually pretty live when he does.
I want them to take down this 10. Put the 3 out. 10 bodies the 3 here. Watch. Comes all the way across on him.
Oh, Nick needed the 5 in second. Oh, he got 15 to win on it though. Nice. There you go. All right, so let's get the shitty racing out of the way. And I'm not talking about Indiana. Let's take a look at Belmont here. We got one stakes race, or one graded stakes race coming up here on Saturday. That's going to be the Mother Goose Grade 2, going a mile and 16th on the dirt for 3-year-old fillies. I don't know why, but I feel like the past, like, basically every race I can think of, every run of this race has been small fields and like really, really short price favorite. Like, is this just like where people go to duck the best fillies, like, and just like one happens to always come in here and be a heavy favorite? Like, I forgot who. Maybe I'll pull up the history of this, but I feel like the past couple of years this has just not been like a great race. Here again, we got a field of 5. You got Juju's Map at even money, and then you got Shahama at 9 to 5, and then you got 3 other horses in here that I don't really know if they have a shot. But I don't know. This has kind of just been this race the past couple of years, hasn't it?
I can't remember who won the last couple of years, but this definitely feels like a race that probably needs downgraded from Grade 2. It has not been a very good race lately. It doesn't get a very big field. It typically doesn't get a very good field. So I agree with you on that context.
Zagel won it last year.
I don't even know who that is.
It's a Todd Pletcher Shadwell horse. Then Dunbar Road. It didn't run in 2020. Dunbar Road, Midnight Bisou, Unchained Melody. And Unchained Melody is probably the year I don't think I was watching racing yet.
So the reason why it tends to get a softer field is there's 4 opportunities. Then this is a setup race for the. So you're 30 days out from July 23rd. So that's a mile and 1/8. But I think this is why you sometimes get a softer field, is people are setting themselves up here.
Because this race was a Grade 1 for the longest time. I mean, for like 30 years, and then just the past couple of years, it looks like it got downgraded to a Grade 2. So, but I don't know. I think we've talked about it before. You know, there's too many graded stakes. There is an inquiry. So, Cap, hopefully, maybe
that pick four Daily Double Alive.
But yeah, so I don't know. It's been kind of a interesting race, but or not a very interesting race. But I don't know. I feel like Belmont as of late has just not been great. Not been a good watch. Not been a good bet. But so I've kind of been avoiding after basically only playing Belmont for the start of the meet. So. I don't know, Caleb. I know you soured on Belmont, and you seem to probably be the biggest Belmont apologist out of the group. So,
yeah, I like Belmont. I feel like it's been a good Belmont, spring summer meet. There's been so many big 5-score pick five or 5-figure pick fives, pick five carryovers, double pick six carryovers. But yeah, I think as far as their marquee day goes and their marquee cards go, Belmont Stakes Day was a disappointment to me. There's really no other way to put it. I mean, the headline races were fine, I guess, but just way too short on quality and way too short on depth of actual contenders. Felt like half of every field was just full of fillers. So, yeah, I mean, we don't need to revisit that because we beat that to death a couple weeks ago. But yeah, it hasn't been a place where I focused on as much as I normally would, and I'm looking forward to Saratoga starting up.
Let's take a moment to appreciate this. Andrew Frozen.
Now you see what I deal with every time we record our Friday show.
Oh no! Now I'm stuck big. What the heck? All right, how do I do this? Here we go. Okay.
If you're stuck, it's only on your screen.
There we go. No, I mean I couldn't move myself off the big part. I don't know. It was weird. So I'm sure he'll be back in a second here.
Yeah.
So what? I mean, did you looking at this race? I mean, it looks like a 2-horse race on paper.
I don't think it does. Really.
No. Okay.
I think it's a 1-horse race or it's a wide open race, but I don't really buy it's a 2-horse race because I don't really think Shahama is really anything good, assuming that's who you meant by the second horse in that field. I mean, I think Cap really likes this horse, so I'll let him kind of talk her up. But I just don't think she beat anything in Dubai. I think those were some lousy, terrible fields. And she had a little bit of trouble in the Kentucky Oaks, I guess. But, I mean, that was a race that really came back to the closers. So I'm not really going to upgrade her a ton off of that effort either. She just hasn't done enough to prove to me that she's anything special here. Or she wouldn't even be my second choice in here, much less at 9-5. But I will say that I think Juju's Map is pretty clearly the horse to beat. Who was it? Nick Feldman saying that, she's going to blow the doors off, thinks he's a very special horse. I'm not sure, to be honest. I think she's a nice filly. I think this is a bad field, and I think she's your most likely winner, to be sure. I don't know that I'm ready to go bet the farm on her winning the Breeders' Cup Distaff yet this year or anything close to that. I need to see more out of her. But I think she's, one of the top probably 4 or 5 3-year-old fillies right now in the country. But I think that older division is pretty tough, with Latruska, Clairiere, Malafat. I mean, you got some big hitters out there. Even search results, put herself on the map after that last race. I think Juju's Map has a ways to go, but I think she's a very likely winner of this race.
So, Cap, while you were off, Caleb says that he thinks that you like this 1-horse, Shahama.
I did like the 1-horse, and he is correct. But I think that Juju is the horse to beat here. I don't think anybody's going to have a chance here. Been working with She Dares the Devil last couple times. I think it's the workouts on June 11th, June 4th, and May 28th. Matched up pretty well. Juju outworked the other horse by about 3/4 of a second. So I think there's a lot coming behind this. I think Juju's just going to run them off the page. I hate this distance too at Belmont. It drives me insane.
Agreed.
I think this is the dumbest thing in the world, but they really need to get rid of this distance.
Why? What's wrong with the distance?
It just shouldn't be over a one-turn mile. I think that's where we should stop at things. When they put that extension on, personally, just in general, when they put the extension on at Belmont to go into the training track, I don't understand why they added that. I think they're more than a one-turn mile. It's sort of stupid to me, but that's just my opinion.
Don't they run like 1 1/8 too at one turn, or
So they actually ran like 3 or 4 1.5 turn miles.
Yeah,
I believe it was, or 1.25. Was it 1.25? Yeah, 1.25 turn miles. Sorry. And they started them on the practice track, and they come all the way across into the main track.
Isn't that what they do in? Is it Dubai? They do that too, or is it Saudi? They run the big race is like 1.25 miles, but it's only 1 turn.
Correct. That's Saudi Arabia.
Saudi, right? Yeah.
And they started way back. I just don't like it. It's too funky for me. I really think we should stop at 1 turn miles.
Yeah, they also got those funky turf distances, right? Isn't a mile is 1 turn on the turf too, right?
And
correct.
Saudi?
No, Belmont.
Belmont, yes.
Yeah, it's like a turn and a extra little.
And we'll have 1-turn miles at Saratoga this year.
Oh,
Wait,
yeah, because
really?
they're
First time in
reopening.
28 years.
They're reopening the chute.
Yeah, and which is sort of funny because Ellis Park is the only other track in the country with a chute like this. And if you look at the bias report on it, basically, if you're 1 through 3, you win pretty much. Everybody else blows that first half turn. If you're on the inside, the advantage is so high.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be fun. I'm really excited for Saratoga this year. Just the meet in general. Just because I don't know. I feel like I don't know, man. I feel like the lead up to like the Derby and the lead up to everything has just been a little flat this year. I don't know. Like we've had some really good races, but I feel like even like Belmont's having trouble getting big field or acceptable fields for a lot of these stakes races. I've had more fun betting some of these like smaller tracks with bigger fields like Turfway or Sam Houston or Churchill. Well, Churchill's on a small track, but they usually get big fields. So I don't know. I'm excited that we get to Saratoga and we get 8-horse fields in every race at least. So it's gonna be fun.
Have you been betting any Monmouth this year?
I have not. Have you with the
So
whips
Monmouth's
back?
The whips are back and the fields are enormous. Todd Pletcher was on Ron Flatter's podcast a couple weeks back, and he talked about how expensive it is to race in New York right now. And they pay $20 an hour and workers' comp and housing and all this stuff. And it seems like all the New York trainers are sending more and more horses to Jersey because they can train for half the price there. So Monmouth has definitely been a hot track this summer. Last week they set their record, I think, for the biggest non-Haskell day. And they've been doing pretty good down there, and their average field size is 8.1 horses. So.
Is Todd worried about like theft from his employees or anything though?
Who was that? What jockey was it? Let me think.
It was DeCarlo, wasn't it?
Christopher DeCarlo.
Yeah, it was
I said
DeCarlo.
one comment 5 years ago, and you still talk about it.
I forgot where it was. Like DeCarlo, like shipped up to. Was he like in Finger Lakes?
No, DeCarlo came to Aqueduct Turf in the fall for a single mount, and he lives in South Jersey. It was actually in Philly, I might be, and he drove all the way up for a single mount, and he was like 19-1, and it was a pure speed horse. I'm like, DeCarlo's going to steal this on the front end. I was like, he drove all the way from Jersey to steal this on the front end. I think is what he said.
I think he specifically said he's from Jersey. He's going to try and steal it. And so I was like, what? I was like, damn. I was like, these guys from Jersey just fucking stealing shit. But he meant that, he drove all the way from South Jersey to the track and is going to try and steal a purse. And I was just like, I don't know. It's just stuck. It's just always been in the back of my head. So
anytime I mention Jersey, you mention stealing.
Oh, man. Yep, there you go. Chase chiming in. He says people from Jersey steal things. I can't argue with the man. Shout out to with Notorious OTB podcast, Chase Sessoms. And then Andrew, actually, since we're talking podcasts, who's got the action? When's your next episode coming up?
I have Tony Zhao coming up this week. Still working on timing for it. Really been focused on Saratoga. We're going to have 2 shows a day every day at Saratoga, and then another 6 special features each week. So it's about 16 shows a week in Saratoga. So it's a little bit of some time commitment. So really been committed to that now, and trying to do my real world job and not necessarily because I know for the next 7 or 8 weeks I'm not going to be able to do too much of that.
Let me tell you, make sure to ask Tony to send you a picture of his whiskey room.
Yeah.
Oh, I trust me. I know Tony from the outside world, non-horse racing. But we work in the same industry together, and that's how I'd known him before horse racing. And cigars and whiskeys, he's quite the man.
Yeah, I was at. He sent us a picture in one of our group chats of just like I forgot what it was, but I messaged Caleb on the side. I'm like, dude, did you fucking see that?
Yeah. Dude is stocked up.
He bought a $2,000 bottle after he won that $55,000 or the $130,000 in the Naira Bets Belmont Challenge
For the Belmont contest. Yeah, I was happy to see him take it down.
How much would you spend if you won $100K, Caleb? How much would you spend on a bottle of whiskey?
I'd spend a couple hundred.
Not the 2,000.
Not 2,000.
That's
You're
been
so
zero.
responsible.
I mean, I just don't feel like I don't know if there's a $2,000 dollar bottle of whiskey that I would like want. I could go get like a nice like 18-year-old Scotch or like a nice like whatever else. Because I'm not going to go pay $2,000 for a George T. Stag, no matter how good it is. So
If it lasts for more than 4 hours, Chase, I would contact a doctor. Just FYI. Yeah, I don't know. I was in Louisville, and I walked over to the HRN offices real quick to meet up with Ed, and I talked with Mark for a little bit. And Ed's like, "Oh, I got to show you something," and then like he just like shows me his office, and he's just got like these boxes, that like I was just like ridiculous. I'm just like, dude, like how, and he's got kids. He's got kids and a wife, and he's spending that kind of money on whiskey. I don't understand it.
Have you seen the candy they have at the office?
I've not seen the candy.
Oh, you didn't make it to the back kitchen. Jesus.
I might have walked. No, I walked through it, but I just I didn't look in there. I was just.
They're all gonna have diabetes in 5 years.
Oh,
it's just insane.
All right, we got 9 minutes to post here for race 6 at Indiana Grand, and I do see Charles talking up about horseshoe karting better races in Churchill, and I think someone mentioned it, but yeah, it's a good point. Like without Churchill having the turf course, I mean, it's the easiest place to ship. It's what, like 2 hours from Louisville, if that. So it's not super far. Yeah. I swear I drive past it on 65, but I didn't see it this week, or I didn't remember seeing it this last weekend when I drove past. Yeah, we're looking at race 6 here. We're going to be going 6 furlongs for 3-year-old fillies, maiden 34K here. I like the 11 here. The 11 is 7-5 currently, but the 11 is Cat Wings for Jareth Loveberry, or Jareth Loveberry riding for Tom Amos. Coming in from some of these salty maiden races at Keeneland and Churchill, so probably getting a bit of a class relief there, and I just think that this horse is going to sit forward, which I think is where you want to be here on the dirt. But I don't know. Do you think that the outside post is going to hurt him, Andrew?
Bias-wise, not at all. When we're looking at these races here, I'm just pulling it up. Give me 1 second. We're on race 6, correct? I'm not crazy.
Yep.
Yeah. Average runners in the field is 7.94, and we're like 40%, 30%. So I wouldn't play any type of bias here. I think the 11's a little too short for me to get involved. I was focusing on the 4 here and that first-time starter, the 2 horse. 4 sort of interested me. Definitely has going to be the speed of the speed, and speed's been holding pretty well on these 6 furlong dirt races. I think he's going to get out front. I do not know this jockey. Is that Martin Pedroza?
Marcelino Pedroza, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how he rides pretty well. I know Brad Cox has done pretty well so far at Indy. Sort of interested there. And then move over to this first-time starter, Fragnat. He's been training with Mike McCarthy, first-time starter, Landeros up. The horse has been training with a horse that ran a 79 Tifus last time out. So it sort of puts it in the mix in the same level. I like to match up with the first-time starters whoever the horse's workmate is, and then figure out what that horse ran last time out. So it's sort of in that same ballpark. That too there should be sort of interesting. But yeah, I'm definitely going to be playing something without the 11 on it now. I'm dead in the pick 4, dead in the pick 3, so I'm going to play something with 2-4 and probably 2-4 to the 1.
Caleb, anything stick out to you here?
Yeah, I don't love anything here. I guess I'm a little bit similar to Andrew. I think that I like the 4 here, Junelia. Brad Cox. I mean, there's this common idea that Brad Cox does everything well, and it's pretty true. I mean, he kind of does, but honestly, he doesn't really do first-time starters as well as you may expect. However, he's excellent second time out. I mean, hits an extremely high rate second career start. And Indiana Grand or Horseshoe Indianapolis is pretty much his backyard and his playhouse for this off summer, not necessarily like peak racing season time. So I'm going to go with the 4 here. Showed good speed on debut before just tiring late. The winner did kind of run away and hide that day, and then she didn't exactly come out to flatter that field. But I'm choosing to just kind of ignore that and assume that second time out at the Brad Cox barn, controlling speed from the inside is going to be enough to let this filly get it done. I do respect your 11, Josh, on Figs and on Class. I mean, she's probably the horse to beat. But I'm not really sure kind of what to do with her. I think at 7-5, she might just be a little bit too short for me at 6-5. But she would be the horse to beat, I think. But at the prices, I take my chances with the 4. And then if I was going to get the bomb to use underneath, I might look at the 1, who ran just once as a 2-year-old at Churchill. Didn't really fire, but did show good speed for half a mile before folding up late. Comes back with Lasix after a long layoff. Appears to have been working pretty well leading into this. So that Churchill race did produce a couple of winners that came out next time, and not necessarily won next time out, but did go on to be pretty decent fillies. So I think the 1 might be a horse who might need a start here, but could run underneath at a pretty good price.
Midnight Grinds sire, Midnight Storm, fucking beautiful horse. Saw the horse in person when I went down to Lexington. Beautiful horse, dude. Might be like the nicest horse I've ever seen. Just real nice dark coat. It's a really, really cool looking horse. But I don't like your 1.
Caleb,
I'll give you one.
Caleb, I'll give you a good one. You were just talking about Brad Cox second time out, right? Second time out, last 20 races. Last 20 second race starters he had. How many has he won?
7.
13.
No shit.
Oh.
Sometimes the barns get hot. Maybe the juice is flowing. Who knows? I'm not here to judge. I'm not here to make a comment. But sometimes when they get streaky like that, the juice is flowing well in the barn and everything's coming together.
Yeah, I agree.
The baby splashes come, and
that's right.
Now, if you're talking about the 4, what about the horse that beat him last time out, the 10? I mean, you're getting 12-1 currently on this 10.
Yeah, I mean, 12-1 is kind of silly, I think. That's a great price on the 10. But I guess for me, I think the 4 has more of a right to improve than the 10. I think after seeing 3 starts out of the 10, a decent start, a lousy start, and then a pretty good start in that last time out race, I don't really know how much more I expect her to improve in this 4th start when she hasn't really shown much of a pattern of improvement or hasn't really shown the steady progress I'd look for. Tom Amis also kind of strikes me as a trainer who kind of wins first out or doesn't get him to win for a while. So for me, I think there's more upside with the 4, but at 4 times the price, I wouldn't talk anybody off the 10 either.
Charles says he thinks the 9 is interesting here. Jockey trainer combo, pretty hot horse, is out of Practical Joke. Not out of, is by Practical Joke.
Probably not for me. Looks like the wheels kind of fell off lately. I don't know what's happened, but I get the job. The connections angle is strong. If anything, the fact it's a Practical Joke that's an over 5 maiden probably makes me like him less because they've been very good first time out. But probably not for me. But again, it's a good price, so take your shot if you like it.
I'll let that declining form pet beat me.
Trying to see if I got it.
Josh, can you scroll to the next race?
Yeah.
Think of a little double action here.
Okay. What are you liking here at 7?
I like the 1.
Deuteronomy Strong?
I believe so. I'm up trying to do it through my phone and
yeah,
at the same time. It's not exactly easy.
May I suggest a iPad, perhaps with an Apple Pencil?
You're just poking at me right now because I have so much to say. You know that pencil's nowhere to be found right now after $129.
That's the Apple Pencil 2. I got both. I got the Apple Pencil 1 and the 2. Because I got an old iPad, and then I got Mark's old iPad here. God, I love Mark. He just goes full bore into everything.
Everything.
I mean,
I love
he
it's
bought
the 4, by the way. It's the 4 that I was looking
the 4.
at. I'm looking to play double here.
Andrea Rodriguez,
Yes.
John Horan, Complex Justice here. Good old. I see an E in the 7.
Continuously improving figures. Horse runs with the bias here at 5.5. Gets the weight break down to 114. Thinks it carries it through. That's what I wrote down.
That's a 2 3/4 cherry horse. No stem.
It's like it's like Papo. You got the Papo marks in there.
Exactly. See,
Yeah.
anyone else?
I'm actually also playing a double here in Indiana. I'm gonna key the 4 horse that we talked about, the Brad Cox second time starter, and I'm gonna double into the 8 Azaro Steel. In this 7th race at Horseshoe Indy, I thought there was a lot of speed. I mean, to me, it felt like the 7 is the no stem 3 cherry horse. The 4 horse looks like has some gas. The 2 horse should be involved early. And then there's a couple others that I'm not really sure exactly what they'll do. But I thought the race would be honest up front. And there was a couple of races where this 8 does sort of struggle to get out of the gate. Probably can't afford to blow the brake going 5.5. But I do think this horse is in good form. Has really had 2 improved efforts in his first 2 starts as a 4-year-old. So I think with the contested pace, as long as they can get out of the gate okay, that he could be a pretty big player.
Question for you, Caleb. You think how far off do you think he's going to be at first call?
I'm going to say 6 lengths.
So 1 horse out of 45 at 5.5 furlongs has closed outside of 3 lengths this entire meet.
Well, so you're telling me there's a chance.
Much the best. It looks like Tommy McNamara, the Black Eye King. I still can't believe, man, that picture of him, man, with double black eyes. Jeez. He's asking if Capone's from New York. People are asking.
I'm getting made fun of for my shirt here.
Your Derby War shirt?
Yeah.
Your company man. Who's the guy in the middle? That's funny. Oh, you got a stain on the shirt already?
Me? No.
Yeah.
Brandon?
Who's got the stain then? People are talking about a stain on the shirt. I don't know who they're talking about. I hope it's not me. I got a black shirt on. I don't know what kind of fucking...
It's my lighting. My lighting.
Yeah. So I can't in good conscience bet this 11 at even money. So I'm gonna steal your guys' picks. I'm gonna play a 4-10 to a 4-8 double. So I'm gonna take the two horses out of that shared race, the 4 and the 10. I put a little win money on the 10 as well, just because I feel like 10-1 is kind of ludicrous. But I'm sure as he finishes a tired 7th in this race, I'll be like, oh, he should have been 10-1.
You probably had fun though.
Oh, I always have
All that
fun.
matters.
Although, wait, last night didn't I say that this isn't fun?
Which is supposed to be fun?
This is supposed to be
Wait,
fun?
you guys are having fun?
Oh, man. Oh, dude, who's this jock on the 1? What is he doing? You guys see this?
I'm on delay. Give me a second.
He's like going like this with his glasses, like just like going rapid fire over here. I don't know what the heck is going on there. Who is that jock on the 1? Oh, Alex Ashard. Oh, that's your horse, Caleb, the 1. I forgot.
I like the 1.
I thought it was. Yeah, you like the 1. Didn't you like the Midnight Storm horse?
Oh, and then yeah, underneath, I think, underneath.
All right, he's not your horse, so that way when he wins, you get no
then
credit.
he's my horse. When he stinks, he wasn't my horse.
I see what you meant by the jockey on the one. I'm just there now. I'm in a little bit of a delay.
Yeah, they're off.
Can't say that's where I expected the this 4-horse to be, but it's not the worst spot to be. It looks like it's pretty contested up front.
They look like they're going fast. Yeah, 22 and 4. Oh my God, who's this horse on the outside?
I'm the best ride, so just come and catch me.
With that stupid 11.
Yeah, hopefully this is a too soon junior moment.
No.
My problem is nobody's running.
Nobody. Everybody's in reverse right now.
Oh, they're waiting. They're just waiting.
It's a 6 furlong race.
Too fast. Too fast. It's got to be illegal.
Look at this 9 on the outside making a run for it.
Somebody liked the 9.
I think it was Charles. Yeah, Charles liked the 9. Oh, the 7 up the rail. Come on.
Oh, 7. 7 got the hot rail.
Man.
This
was pretty
chalky.
That was pretty impressive. Yeah, since when is horseshoe chalky? What the hell is this? They fucking start running at night and they start running like Churchill. Speaking of Churchill.
Chicago.
Yeah, they got the Chicago Stakes here.
Has this race always been held here?
I believe this is a Arlington race.
I mean, I knew that. I just wanted to hear you say it.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to that track?
I don't know. Did you see Marcus Hirsch the other day? Was like, oh man, with the Churchill turf course in shambles, maybe they should consider running Arlington Million Day at Arlington Park. They actually have a turf course.
Honestly, is Arlington just sitting there right now, just like unused?
Yep. It's going to be like one of those places that gets fucking grown over. Like, is it Hialeah?
Sold last week. They're tearing everything down.
Oh, Hialeah?
Mm-hmm. Sold last week. Gulfstream Park West. Sorry,
wait, Gulfstream Park West was Calder.
Calder sold, not Hialeah.
I think Hialeah like runs like one days of racing, like one day you can't bet on it, and it's like 200-yard like thoroughbred races, and they have like 3 horses and a couple races
just to like run.
just to like keep the license or something. It's something stupid.
Funny.
Yeah.
There's a track in Orlando, Florida, that most people don't know about. That races one day a year, 3 races of 2 horses going 200 yards, and it's inside of the place called the Villages. It's a retirement community, but they do it so they can have a poker room.
Do you remember last year? Was it last year? There were those like random. There was the races in like Las Vegas, and like we were trying to figure out where they were, because it was like that like underground like, match racing. Yeah, there was like they were like shipping horses up from Mexico to do it. That was just peak degeneracy when we were like trying to figure out like if we could get there. Nick Dayton saying, surprised On the Wrong Lead would have someone on the show who was 4 on a horse with arthritis in the Belmont. I mean, Nick needs to work on his sentence structure there. Because okay. Man, the only Dayton I know is a softball player for the University of Texas, Bella Dayton.
Oh, she's good looking.
Yeah, I don't think that she would ever be like associated with someone as dumb as this man over here. So, anyways, it's Chicago. We're gonna be going 7 furlongs here for fillies and mares 4-year-old and up. And this race came up pretty good. I think Sconsin's gonna be your favorite here at 2-1. Posted outside in the 7 hole. You got Lady Rocket at 5-2, Bell's the 1 at 7-2, Bayerness, 4 Graces, Penny Baker, and Calypso. But these are definitely some nice horses here. So I don't know. I kind of went back and forth here, and I ended up. I don't know. I feel like a lot of these horses kind of take turns like beating each other. Sconsin, Bell's the 1. I think even like Lady Rocket was in I think a couple of these races. I I don't know. I was kind of interested in the one Baroness here, just kind of as an outsider. Churchill Downs is 3 for 5 at Churchill Downs. He's got a win at the distance. So I don't know. I was interested in Baroness as just kind of I guess, hey, show me something different and not see these same horses kind of beating each other up. I mean, Lady Rocket, I don't know what happened last time in the Ruffian. I mean, was it just too far? But I mean, generally, if horses can get 7 furlongs, they should be able to get a mile. So I really don't know what the excuse was for Lady Rocket last out. Belle's the one wins like one race a year at this point in her career. Is this going to be the race? I don't know. I mean, does seem to like Churchill Downs, but I don't know. I think she might need a little bit of pace setup at this spot, and I don't know if she's necessarily going to get it. So I don't know. Caleb, where did you kind of see yourself in this race?
Yeah, so I landed on the number 3, Lady Rocket, just because I don't really see a bunch of speed in here. Yeah, I guess somebody could argue that like maybe Calypso tries to go. That really hasn't been her game plan in her past couple of starts, and I just don't think she's fast enough to go with Lady Rocket, even if she tries. And then the Byroness, I mean, this is not a horse that really ever makes the lead, although she does like to race forwardly. So I thought Lady Rocket just gets to the front here and probably doesn't look back. I'm not too worried about her last 2 starts. They came over muddy sealed tracks. She's handled them before in the past, but she's 5 for 9 over a fast track and only 1 for 4 over an off track. So I think she is a little better over a fast track, and I'm assuming the track's going to come up fast on Saturday. If it's going to be off, that would probably change my opinion here. And she's also getting some class relief. I mean, search results last time crushed her in that race in the Ruffian, but search results ran an enormous race on the Belmont undercard in the Ogden Phipps. I mean, I think even though she lost, I think she may have even gotten 3rd. I mean, she set suicidal fractions with Latruska, put her away where she finished up the track, and still ran outstanding to finish, pretty close in the picture to Malafat and Clariere. So no disgrace at all, I don't think. The Madison totally melted, so I'm not really going to hold that against her either. She comes back to Churchill, where she's never missed the exacta. She likes this distance. The cutback makes sense, and I think getting back to a fast track with the pace advantage, I think Lady Rocket's going to be too much for this field.
What do you think, Cap?
Going through the biases, as I always start everything at 30 examples of horses going on dry tracks, going 7 furlongs at Churchill this meet. We've had out of 30 horses, 2 of them have closed from off the pace, and 23 of them have gone wire to wire. So 7 furlongs on a dry track, you want to be out in front. You want to keep going. I think Lady Rocket's the only speed of the speed in the race. There's nothing that's going to be close to it, as Caleb already said. Last 2 are on off tracks, coming back here. Cuts back a little bit as she gets older. I like to see a horse come back a little bit, especially with that front running speed. Sometimes you see horses that you want to go longer as they get older. I think that horses that are very big, heavy horses, I like to see them cut back a little bit. Opportunity here, I think the price is going to be low, but good one here. It's been working with a horse called Just One Time. Probably heard of the horse before. Ran really well in Churchill. Ran really well on was it Kentucky Derby Day? I think we're
not going to talk about fucking Just One Time on Kentucky Derby Day because Flavian Pratt is a fucking idiot. Continue.
Okay. It's been working with that horse, so I think I always like to see when trainers put the best together in each other's barn. So Brad Cox has two studs working together here. I think this is an opportunity for Lady Rocket to go and not get caught.
Do you not remember that Just One Time looked like the off the pace horse in that? What race was it, Caleb?
It was the I know which race. It was the
Derby City Distaff.
Yeah, the Derby City Distaff.
Looked like the off the pace horse and went to the fucking lead and set just suicidal fractions.
Held on for third.
I might be the only person that didn't hate that ride. I mean, this horse wired her first 4 races and then all of a sudden missed the break and closed and got Rosario and people thought she was a closer, but there was no speed in that race. Speed scratched out. I mean, I don't know. The race ended up melting, but the track was playing kind of weird. I didn't hate Pratt sending her the lead, and I didn't think the fractions were that ridiculous. But
I mean, that was Lady Rocket that scratched.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, there was no speed left. So I didn't hate the ride, but everyone else on Twitter thinks it was the worst thing ever. So I'm in the minority on that.
Meatball number 1 right here. Thank you very much. I also just am biased against Levy and Pratt since Country House. So
So where did you end, Josh?
I like the 1. I like
Oh, you said
Baroness in the
Baroness.
spot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Lady Rocket makes sense. Um, there are a lot of ones in that page, and there are not a lot of ones on other people's pages. But I think Baroness at least is going to be a little bit is going to be probably sitting in that second spot. So, see if we get a little magic happening there. But did you guys and anybody look at Calypso at all?
Only because Corrales was up.
I mean, that's why I looked at it first. Hold on, may I add grade 1 winner Calypso. So I don't know. Do any of the horses in this race have a grade 1 win?
Do West Coast grade ones count as grade ones?
I mean,
Are
sure.
West Coast figures real?
Ooh,
No.
I
I'm
believe they
pretty
are not.
sure. I think Belle's the One probably has a grade one. Didn't she beat Serengeti Empress like a couple years ago in a grade one?
I don't know. It's a good question. Uh, West Coast Figs or a Chad Brown maiden in Monmouth? What's faker?
That's a tough call. Lately, probably West Coast Figs. But in general, my Chad Brown Monmouth feelings. I mean, so is anyone using either Bell's the One or Sconson? I don't think either of them get the right pace set up. If I had to take one, it would be Sconson, just because I think she's, a little fresher. And I absolutely hated the last out race by Bell's the One. She should have finished way better than she did in that Derby City Distaff, and she did not finish well, even on a race that fell apart. So she won't be on a single ticket of mine, and that makes me sad because we have her in fantasy. But I think she's going the wrong way, and I don't think she's nearly as good at 7 furlongs as she is 6.
No, agreed. I mean, Sconson, I guess I could see a little bit more because Sconson at least has shown a propensity to be like somewhat close to the front end. But like Belle's the one I think at this point in her career needs a pace set up, and she's not going to get it here.
I think Lady Rocket probably won by open here.
Yeah, I could see it.
The way that track's been playing, and the biggest thing is, and people sort of laugh at this, and as an Aqueduct Winter player, which I know my pal Caleb used to be, and then he has sort of started to leave us, but there's no turf course like that, and these tracks that are made to be raced on 2 different surfaces, and then they just keep on pounding it again and again and again. The speed just holds up so well in the front the whole time. They're not giving this track any relief to go over to the turf at all. So it just keeps on getting pounded down, and the crew can't even get it to work it enough to get it to run flat or even.
Why don't we take a look at Thistledown here? We got two really good races, I think. In race 10 and 11, the Lady Jacqueline and then the Ohio Derby. We'll take a quick look here, and then maybe in a couple minutes we'll switch over to this Indiana Grand race that we're about 10 minutes to post from. So we're probably about 20 minutes to post with the way it's been dragging. But I don't know. I thought this Lady Jacqueline came up pretty good. You got some kind of names in Crazy Beautiful, Army Wife, Maracuja in here, and then you got a bunch of local horses and also rans in here. I actually like one of the. I don't know if it's a local horse, but it's definitely not one of the big 3 here. But Cap, I'm interested to see what you kind of liked in this race.
Thank God I can go before Caleb, because he likes to steal people ideas. As our friend Jared.
Our friend Jared, friend of the show, Jared.
First time caller. I really think you're right. The Lady Jack, it came back a lot better than usual. You have some names here, both in this and the Derby. Let's be honest. There's some people pointing here, and I think it comes down to this year now having the greatest crop of horses, and guys just trying to go out there and get some graded stakes races, because they know that the cream that did really rise to the top is all going to be at Saratoga this summer, or going out to like the Haskell or somewhere out Del Mar. I was 2 different ways in this race. I tried to figure out a bias, and I wrote everything down, and I ran all my search results, and it came back with, what the hell am I doing? It seems like all of the horses that run 2 turns here suck. It's just like, if you look at the first fraction to where they finish, everybody comes way off the pace. Nobody wires. And I think that's more of a determination based on the horses and not necessarily the actual track. I think that's just, there's shitty horses here, and they just aren't made to go a mile and an eighth, for example. So the 2 horses I came back here with, I thought Army Wife was really interesting. Coming back off 21 days, I like the figures have pretty much been steady, if not improving. Had a nice little work on the 19th of June, which I thought was pretty well. The company on that work was pretty good as well. I can't confirm exactly who it was, so I won't say it, but there's 2 horses I think it could have been. So I was really happy with that. And the other one, I'm going to sort of going to go out on a whim here. This D-Wayne Lucas horse, the 3, take charge Lauren. This is such a D-Wayne horse when you look at it. Really just doesn't surprise me. He's sending it here. Claim from switch barns from Dallas Stewart. Horse's figures have just been phenomenal. And then you come in first race out for D-Wayne and runs a little bit of a clunker to finish 4th. Lost to Salute the Flag, was not too shabby, and a horse of its own. The one thing I like here is I think D-Wayne, when he comes second off here, he does pretty well. The stats, especially in the last 45 days, are pretty good when he's second off claim. So I'm going to take a horse like that that's going to be out in front. I think this track just doesn't normally – I think the track can definitely be very speed favoring. We don't necessarily see it because of the quality of horses. So I'm going to stick with Army Wife, the 6 and 3, take charge Lauren.
Caleb.
This race was a little tough for me because it features like some of my least favorite filly and mares in Army Wife and Crazy Beautiful and Maracuja, who have done nothing but hurt me in basically every start of their careers. So I'll admit I'm a little biased because these are horses that I feel routinely don't live up to their expectations. I mean, Crazy Beautiful is probably the most notorious offender who kind of drops into some pretty cheap spots to pick up wins, hence why she's here. But I'm still not really sold that I think she's this good. Our Army Wife, I could give more of a pass to, as she was making her second start off a layoff last time and caught a sloppy track before that. So I would kind of give a pass to Army Wife. I think she is interesting in this spot. But actually, the horse I ended up on, which surprised me more than anybody, was the number 4, Candlelight Hours. And I recognize this horse is pretty magnificently in over her head. 3-year-old taking on older pretty early in the season. She, hasn't really ever faced open company outside of Ohio breds, but her body of work has been really strong. I mean, she's improved in each of her last 4 starts. She's hit the exacta in 8 of 9 starts on the dirt, throughout the synthetic race where she clearly just didn't handle the surface. She will be forwardly placed, and I think you kind of need to be forwardly placed because from what I remember last year playing this track, the one day a year that I do, it was tough to make up a ton of ground. So, I think Candlelight Hours, I mean, going with the local horse, the horse for course angle here, should have the tactical speed to make any kind of trip that she wants. I imagine she probably sits second, maybe or second or third at worst. So she needs to improve, and she could finish up the track, but she's one that I thought might get overlooked based off of beating some cheaper races. But her form looks good, and her figures aren't that far out of the question.
Who's the trainer? Who was that trainer on it? Because
James Jackson.
Janet Jackson?
Yeah.
James R. Jackson.
I have no idea who that is.
Yes, next to us.
He's winning at 18%. 18% at Thistledown.
Do you think some of these horses come here because of the LASIK?
I think some of these horses come here because they're not good enough to go anywhere else.
Fair.
Looking at you, Crazy Beautiful.
I actually landed on the 8 here, micro cap, for Grant Forrester and Malcolm Franklin. Was in. I was going to say kind of had a little bit of a barn switch there, but it was just for one race. But this looks like a horse that's just kind of been improving, and is a 5-year-old at this point. So probably in the probably about as good as she's going to get here. But that last race at Churchill, I think, is very competitive in this spot. Is going to be a off the pace type. Sitting probably about 2 lengths off, and did is beaten Powder or Lady Frosted, who I think has been in a couple of decent spots. Got beaten really bad by Juju's Map, but Juju's Map would be 1 to 9 in this field probably. So I don't know. This just looks like a horse that has improved. Is going to be looking like a 5th start of the year, coming off of bullet work. And you're getting a pretty decent local jock in Malcolm Franklin aboard. So I think this might be one that's going to fly under the radar a little bit because it isn't one of the bigger names in this spot. 8-1 in the book, and I think you get all of that in this spot. So I'll take my shot on an improving type here, micro cap. I just really wasn't. It just seemed like all the other horses were like the big name horses were coming with a lot of question marks in here, and that's the time I kind of want to try and beat them. Trust me, I tried to make a case for this 10 horse so badly. I mean, I saw E8, I saw Eric Barbrand, who's usually one of the leading jocks at Thistledown and Mountaineer. So he rides that Ohio. The Ohio West Virginia circuit, but man, that horse is going to need to improve a heck of a lot, I think, to compete against these. But I don't know. I liked microcap in the spot.
Any concern? She, 5-year-old horse, just coming off a pretty big career top, coming back on 3 weeks rest. That was my concern with her because her last race was really good, but it sort of feels like it jumped off the page. I was kind of afraid she might bounce out of that.
Maybe, but I feel like I'm gonna get a hopefully good enough price. Now, like if I see microcaps like 4 to 1, then I definitely want no part of this. But
okay, that's fair.
But if I get a price, I'll take a shot here. But it looks like we got a couple minutes to post here at Indiana. This is gonna be race 7. It's gonna be the last race that we cover here for Indiana Grand. Looks like our favorite is the 8 horse. Which one do you guys like? The 8 horse? That was you, Caleb,
That
right?
was me, yeah.
Azaro Steel. It's 2 to 1 right now. Still interested in 2 to 1 on Azaro Steel.
I'm not live in a double, and I wouldn't win better than it 2 to 1. I'll say that much. But I don't know if or how I'll play this race.
Gotcha. The 2 3/4 Cherry horse, the 4 Complex Justice Caps pick. Is sitting at 4 to 1, halved from the 8 to 1 morning line. Interested still at 4 to 1, and Cap?
Definitely, even more interested now. Question for you, just going to quickly talk about that Lady Jack. Did anybody have any feeling on that one, the one horse there, the horse that's never ran more than 6 furlongs?
I mean, you're talking about James Jackson. Who the heck is Ricardo Bailey?
Yeah, the horse is bred to go that long.
That's what I'm saying. You got the keen eyes. You got the breeding to go that long. It just never has had the opportunity.
This is not the spot.
He put the supplement to get in here. He supplemented to get in here. So, just you don't really see guys throw out $5,000 that much to jump in a race, I guess.
Man, even ran an open like against the boys last time out. That was interesting.
They supplemented this horse for $5,000. The horse only cost $15,000. So
you think they got a deal on the auction price? So they figured, hey, why not an extra 5?
Or did they get a deal on the supplement? And this horse could be running somewhere bigger. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought that was interesting.
You made me take a second look. I don't think the horse can win, but horse might run 3rd or 4th at 60 to 1. I could see that.
Dude, no, so now you're all over Keen Ice. Where was that on Rich Strike?
I liked Rich Strike. I just liked him in the The Jeff Ruby.
I didn't even know the horse was in the race until the morning of.
Yeah, we didn't even cover him on our video because we didn't even know he was in the race.
Did you guys
It's
cover
unfair.
all 20 horses and didn't cover Rich
We didn't
Strike?
cover Rich Strike.
Oh,
No,
that's
because he
pretty
wasn't
funny.
even in the race yet. And we literally spoke to each other and we said, should we do the 2 AEs? And we're like, nah, it's already going to be a long-ass video.
But were you betting this Cherry horse, Indiana Grand, Josh?
I'm thinking about it. I'm trying to see if there's
7-2.
anything
He
else
keeps
here.
dropping. I will say 8-5 is way too short in this 8 horse.
Am I going to have to play another double? Jesus.
Honestly, I think at the odds, I think I'd probably be the most interested in this 5. The 3 for 26 isn't exactly my jam, but coming out of a stakes race where she just missed, I mean, he ought to be able to stalk the pace, but should be close. And at 7-2, I think that's a decent bet.
Ooh, we got a deeper daily double pool this time. We're over $5,000. You can bet 20s.
Let's try it. We'll double with this. We'll go with it.
I'm playing 4-7 double.
I like the 1 and the 4 next race, but I think that's a chalk.
Yep.
Did you guys see Deshaun Parker won the 6,000 for race?
I did not.
Pretty impressive for a jockey that's 5'11 and a half.
I know, dude. He's so tall. Good for him.
He's so. I saw him once. I forget where I saw him once, but somebody asked him if he was just a fan in a costume, and he's like, "No, I'm the actual jockey. I know I'm 5'11 and a half."
I mean, man, the amount of discipline it takes to like keep the weight down, being at that height, like you're already at a disadvantage. So that's crazy. I mean, not a disadvantage like physically. I'm sure being tall has probably got some advantages, being on the horse, but like just like trying to keep weight, like because they say what like every inch of height's almost like is like 10 pounds, 5 pounds or something. Like so, if he's 8 inches taller than the other jockeys, like that's a lot of extra weight he's got to carry around.
But what's the advantage besides getting onto the horse?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure
Being
where
that long has got to be something, right?
You can get all the rebounds.
You want to be flat as possible. I don't know. I always thought you want to be small and as flat as possible.
I don't know, man. Being tall is good in like every other sport, so
Just assumed.
yeah, just assumed, right?
He can see over the horses in front
He gets
of
a
him.
little bit more power with his arms.
There you go. There you go, Caleb. You're right. He can see over traffic.
All right, they're loading the gate here. Whatnot. And the 4 jumped at the start. Oh man, this 2 got shot out like a rocket. We didn't even talk about this 2.
Yeah, I thought the 2 looked like the speed horse that wasn't fast enough to get the lead. That's why I wasn't interested, but shows how much I know.
Well, this 4 found another gear, or this 2
Wow,
just
this 4
slowed down.
flying all of us. Either that or 2 dropped anchor. I think the 4
2 dropped anchor. 4 just spit the bit. Come on. His tongue tie's off now. It's hanging as he runs. Look at that tongue. Ugh.
It's like the
Close
song, right?
Close the door on this.
Take me to your best friend's house. Come on. No. Oh, no.
Oh, that's a brutal beat for the 4.
What
I
is
thought he was going to blow right by in the turn.
No, but he's gonna blow right by the next turn. Looks like he was going better.
Step of ground.
He spit the bit. Like if you watch the replay on the turn, his tongue gets untied. And you see it like hanging out the left side of the mouth.
And he gallops out ahead.
So he's choking on it.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
See? He's choking on his tongue on the turn.
Fucking Baffert did it again. He stole another Glottis.
Oh, another Glottis.
God, can someone stop this, man?
You know you've watched too many races when you can tell when the tongue gets untied.
I don't know. I blame Flavian Pratt somehow still.
Are we on our final race here?
Yep. Ohio Derby. I already know that Caleb's gonna be all over the one because he loves any horse coming out of the wood. So I don't
Fuck
even know if
no. I hate that one.
we got 8 horses in this race. Morning line favorite is the 7, the turf horse, Tawny Port. And you got White Abario at 7-2, Ethereal Road at 4-1, Barizi at 9-2, and you get Classic Causeway 6-1, and then you get a couple of longer shots here on the board. Caleb already knows who I picked in this race because I've been on this horse basically every single race possible. That's going to be the 5, White Abario. Going to be in the easier spot. I think with a lot of horses, they run the Derby, and then you can usually just put a line through that Derby. So I thought this is the best looking horse through all the preps. So we put a line through that Derby where he's never going to see 20 horses again. And I don't know. I just think that he's going to be the best horse in this spot. I'll take 7-2. I'll take 3-1. I'll take 5-2 against this field. I really have no interest in Tawny Port. I really do think that this is a turf horse. Yeah, won the Lexington, but I mean, like, who did he beat? Ethereal Road, that was like a desperation play to try to get into the Derby there. I'm just not really impressed with the horses he beat. Looking at his breeding, looking at the way he ran in the Jeff Ruby Stakes and how he's run over synthetic, I think that this would be a nice turf horse. So maybe Brad will change his mind at some point. But White Abario is going to be where I land here. What about you, Cap?
So you would think, if you had to guess what horse I would like here, it'd be a horse that's not for this surface. I have a reputation of doing that. Betting on horses on the incorrect surface.
Oh, so you'd be on Tawny Port?
You would think I have. I'm going to be on Ethereal Road here. But I've liked this horse. I wanted this horse scratched, so I didn't have the opportunity at Belmont. But I liked this horse from the beginning. I think White Abario is a good horse, but I think that those works since the Derby have not impressed me at all. Nothing that really stuck out. Workmates weren't anything good. Safi really usually works his horses with somebody really good. Getting first time's LASIK, though, I believe. I don't have the program in front of me, but I believe he's first time LASIK here, so might get a little pop there. I think Ethereal Road's good. I think Classic Causeway is interesting on the outside. Sort of ran some clunkers. I think this is sort of a lost horse here. Who's training that horse right now? Do we know?
Kenny McPeak.
Didn't I read something today about that?
Yeah, McPeak.
McPeak took over because Brian Lynch didn't want to go here. Was that what I read? Something like that. He didn't want to go. The owners wanted to go. They want to keep on racing. These owners also have played supplements in the past. I think it's just a little bit of a lost cause here. I'm going to stay away from Classic Causeway at the fact that they're pushing here. And then the other horse I'm sort of interested in is the one horse. And that's just because there's such a nice inside bias on these routes here. Really good opportunity for us to go wild. Wow, gets first time LASIK, so should get that pop. And my boy Gator is in from New York to take them out. And if there's anybody that knows how to get a horse to run against its style, it'd be Gator.
I'm actually surprised. I see Road Warrior said he likes the Lucas horse and he likes White Abario. I'm surprised he wasn't all over the one because we know. Yeah, he must not have seen all these races at Aqueduct and Belmont. So we'll wait for him to catch up there.
I mean, this horse ran great in Protected Stakes Company. I mean, comes out. Well, what do you consider the Ohio Derby? That's like pretty much a New York Protected Stakes Company.
I don't know. We saw Mask Parade just blow off the doors off everyone today. Well, actually, I think he survived the inquiry to win at 2-5 or something. But
I'm going to be the dirty chalk eater. I do think Tawny Port is kind of the horse to beat.
Stop.
He crushed the Lexington, and that race probably wasn't as bad as people initially thought. He beat Ethereal Road, who came back to buck the bias in the Sir Barton at Pimlico on a day when nobody could close. And Ethereal Road just put in an incredibly visually dominant effort. The bad side is the visually dominant effort came back really, really slow on time form. So a bit of a conundrum there between what my eyes tell me and what the form tells me. So at 3-1 versus 4-1, I'm gonna take the off the pace horse that has the figures to compete, which is the 720 port. But his Lexington was good. His Derby wasn't bad. That's probably just too far for how far he really wants to go. But he made a nice run to get up for fifth before getting passed late by a couple of deep closers. This is the right spot for him. I mean, he might be better on synthetic, but I still think he's a good enough dirt horse to be able to beat the likes of most of what he's encountering in here. I think the pace will be on the quick side with Brigadier General and Pineapple Man and Classic Causeway. I feel so bad for Classic Causeway. I'm afraid they're going to ruin this horse, but hard to see a path to victory for him in here. But
Going
yeah,
to ruin? Going to ruin or ruined already?
I could see either one of those arguments, truthfully. I do like Wadabaria. That's my next pick, but nothing crazy here. I think the top two picks are kind of the top two to beat.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think Ethereal Road is going to take a lot of money off that Sir Barton just because of how visually impressive it was. But yeah, I don't know. That Ethereal Road is probably the first horse I toss in this race. Like, I just don't see it. But I don't know. I have been wrong before, many times.
Over 70% of the time for most likely.
Probably over 90% probably around 90% of the time, if we're being honest here. I'm riding that 12K hit probably for the next 3 years. So, but but I don't know. It's a fun card. I looked at a couple of the other races. They looked interesting. I didn't really get a chance to dive in deep, so I'll have to take a look at the wagering menu, see if I can play anything, or what have
What's that
you.
late pick for? Isn't it guaranteed 150K?
I'm not sure, but I think it looks like the base is $1. Unless,
Yeah, the late pick 4 I think is the late pick 4 I think is guaranteed 150K. It actually looked pretty good. 2 Ohio breds and then those 2 races.
Whoever thought we would say, "Oh, this looks good" with 2 Ohio breds.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think that's going to do it for us. Andrew, thank you so much for doing this last minute. I know we had a couple people weren't able to make it tonight, but where can people find you?
Who's got the action on Twitter? And then I'll have all those shows on Horse Racing Nation's YouTube channel in all of Saratoga Meet. We'll also be doing a lot of shorts during Saratoga Meet, about 5 to 10 interviews with trainers, jockeys, agents, and owners throughout the day.
Cool. Caleb, what do you got going on this week? Anything?
Nope, nothing. I'm going to be scarce this weekend and next weekend probably. Kind of a lame time of the year for racing, I think, and good time to take a break before Saratoga.
Absolutely.
Stars and Stripes is next weekend.
Yeah, we
I'll be in Josh's backyard.
Yeah, we lined up a good replacement for him. Not as good looking, but I mean, who can compete with that guy?
Depends on your target audience.
Actually,
you share a target audience.
Yeah, that's true. Mark was out of town this week, and I know Brian's kind of been in and out. So hopefully we'll have him back for next week. And then we do have a guest lined up, but I'll announce it next week once I know for sure they can make it. Check us out at ontherwronglead.com. We're at wrong_lead, and we will catch you guys later. Shout out, keep pounding.